4 signs you are heading towards burnout as an entrepreneur. Welcome. My name is Alexander Plank. I'm an international certified NLP coach, and I'm helping business owners build burnout-proof systems. And today's video is all about the most common signs and symptoms of being towards burnout already or already having burnout. And I thought about how to make it a little bit more interesting and even a little bit more relatable. That's why I'm looking up here the most common signs and then comparing it to my burnout experience, how I faced it back then, and if there are any comparisons there. So let's dive it right in. The first one says here, it's chronic fatigue and exhaustion. And it really was a big pain point for me because I woke up already tired. I was constantly exhausted, of course, emotionally, but also physically, because I never got the rest in that I really needed. I was already tired at lunchtime, pushing me throughout the rest of the day, always trying to get one step in more, hustling through it, trying to cover it up, maybe with caffeine back then, just to keep me going somehow. But of course, I never got the energy back in I really needed. So this whole point of having a restful sleep was never an option. Because when I went to sleep, I was already restless. I felt nervous. I felt guilty about not doing enough. And then I woke up early, most of the time 4 to 5 a.m. and my head was already running, already in those loops of not doing enough and always seeing rest as a reward, not a requirement. So the whole point I was going through was always trying to push and push more, but of course with no energy because everything was gone. By the way, if you feel anything like this or just feel a little bit compared to this, but a little bit relatable to this, click on the link below. Feel free to book your own burnout proof roadmap call. We will figure this out together, looking at your business and life, showing where the leaks are so you can scale up and build your business without sacrificing your health, your life, or of course the time of your loved ones. The second one was numbness. And that was always a big part because I was always focused on my space here. I was focused on my work because, of course, I thought this was the way to do it. But that also meant that I was getting a distance to my family, to my loved ones, to my vision, to myself. And that, of course, then had negative effects. And what I meant by this back then was I was constantly focusing on work stuff, constantly focusing on doing the content, managing the team, putting out the next video at midnight, and completely forgot about the life around me. That meant neglecting my health, of course, becoming edgy and emotional towards the people I loved. That was a really big problem because I lost friends over this and nearly lost my relationship over this. I never saw my family back then because I tried to stay here because I felt right, because I wanted to not feel guilty. I wanted to feel successful and wanted to do the best. That was pushing harder, hustling harder. So there was also this loop of emotions going through, feeling empty inside, this missing self-love, and on the other hand, snapping at the loved ones. And that was also a big problem because it was, guiding me to even more conflicts. It was conflicts at home, conflicts at work, and it really was this numbness that was always sitting here, feeling nothing around me, not even being present anymore. The third one was, of course, the performance. And it builds up on this because we have the missing sleep, we have the numbness, and then we have the problem of the energy. So, of course, the performance went down because my prefrontal cortex wasn't working more, it was shallow. That means you make bad decisions, you don't plan well, you get a lot of business and chaos into your work, but in the end, it never leads to anything because it's not the point of making progress, but just staying business and glorifying the point of, hey, I put in some hours, I did something, but never focusing on the real output here. And the last one says here physical symptoms. And that was really the wake up call I had because it got so bad that I had to go to different doctors. I had to get medicine. And it started typically with sitting here on my desk and working late at nights. And you start, of course, the eyes burn because you're constantly looking at your monitors and you get headache. I already woke up with headache, but then more and more symptoms came. It was not only headache, it was back pain, it was neck pain, and in the end, it was big stomach problems because you're not, of course, not only neglect your personal life, your environment, you don't do something for your health, you don't do something for your nutrition, and you're always sitting here in this position 18 hours a day and no fresh air, not moving, trying to get food in quick. And it really led to big stomach problems because, yeah, everything was out of balance, I would say it like this. And the only way to fix it back then was to get medication, to work on my nutrition, and in the end realizing I had burnout and that I needed to change something. And that's a big problem I see here, that we often think, okay, it's just a headache, not just I'm just tired. And in the end, it is like a vicious circle. More and more things get out of balance, and it can lead to, of course, losing a business, losing loved ones, losing friends, losing a lot of money. And for me, it was exactly those points. I nearly lost my relationship. I missed family time. I missed time with people that are not even here yet anymore. People that I lost. Then I lost friendships and I lost money. And in the end, when I look back, it really is a big problem I see out there, that we still glorify the hustle and we glorify the business, but not being effective, taking care of our health, and in the end, building a business that serves us and is here for our family so we can share the success. So that's something I always say. Please look out for those signs. Don't ignore them. In the end, there's nothing positive to come out of this. And for me, courses didn't work, talking therapy didn't work, and also those typical productivity apps didn't work. So I made a video all about this, how to get ahead of 99% of the people out there, how to get in this top 1% without getting stuck. I built a roadmap on this. I'm showing it in one of my videos. I will link it up here. And don't forget to pick up your call,